Yes, Columbus, an Experience Columbus podcast, keeping you in the know on what's happening in the capital city. Named a top 10 culinary destination in the world and a top 10 best big city in the U.S. by Condé Nast, we invite you to uncover what's new and what's next for our city. Join iHeartMedia's Boxer and Sarah Towns, Experience Columbus's Chief Marketing and Innovation Officer, as they connect with in-the-know guests, providing you with endless ideas for exploring Columbus. By the end of each episode, you'll be asking yourself, can all of this really exist in one city? Yes, Columbus. Hello and welcome back to Yes, Columbus, an Experience Columbus podcast. I am Boxer along with my co-host, Sarah, who is glowing, probably maybe from some vacation.
Oh,
or what?
Yes. Thank you, Boxer. I did have a vacation a few weeks ago.
Well, you look great.
Well, thank you, and good to see you.
Good to see you.
We are so excited to be recording our latest season inside the brand new Columbus Welcome Center, located in the Short North Arts District. Each episode, we shine a spotlight on the people, places, and experiences, making Columbus an incredible place to visit and call home. And today's episode continues with our Celebration of Us series, highlighting some of the incredible moments happening this year in Columbus.
So I'm very jealous and envious of these two, our two guests today.
They're pretty cool.
Very cool. And they have the coolest jobs, I think. Today we're highlighting one of Ohio's most iconic events, the Ohio State Fair. Let me say that again. The Great Ohio State Fair. Attending the State Fair is a time-honored summertime tradition for so many, and we can't wait to learn more about what's in store for us this year.
That's right, Boxer. We are joined today by Alicia Shoults, Deputy Director of Operations and Experience at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fair. Alicia has been a driving force behind the fair for several years and serves as the second vice chair of the International Association of Fairs and Expositions. That is a lot of responsibility, Alicia. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And we are also joined by Adam Heffron, Executive Director at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fair. Adam has more than 30 years of experience in the entertainment industry, working for major events like the Wisconsin State Fair, the Washington State Fair, Minnesota State Fair, Boxer and I are both familiar with, and so much more. So Alicia and Adam, welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
Two serious rock stars when it comes to the State Fair. Alicia, why don't we start with you? The Ohio State Fair, we mentioned this already, has been a summertime tradition for generations of Ohioans. Can you tell us a little bit of the history of the Ohio State Fair and how it came to be so iconic?
Right, so the Ohio State Fair goes all the way back to 1850, and in the very beginning, our fair actually traveled to the people. So it was held in 10 different cities. It would go to Ohioans, and then finally in 1886, it found its permanent home right here in Columbus, Ohio. And what was super interesting at the time, and our location has a lot to do with this, is that transportation was still a challenge. And so we're located beside the railroad, because the railroad would bring the Ohioans and as well as their projects to the fair. So, you know, if you were a farmer and you were bringing your cow, you paid for your ticket and your cow would ride the train for free to get to the Ohio State Fair. And so, you know, since then, it's been really amazing because we've existed on this property and grown over time before things like I-71 existed. And so now, you know, we're right here in the heart of Columbus, bringing people all over the state of Ohio and beyond to the Great Ohio State Fair and to our beautiful city of Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I did not realize that history.
No, and by the way, imagine sitting on that train.
With your cow.
With your cow.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I wonder, was there a discount ticket or what
don't
class did they have to travel in? Adam, as you know, this year our country celebrates America 250. How does the fair experience reflect the traditions, innovation, and community spirit that have defined the U.S. for 250 years?
Yeah, when you put in the context of decades, you know, our nation's been around for 25 decades. The fair itself, our fair, has been around for 18 of those 25 decades. So we go back really to before the 100th year anniversary of our country. So we go as far back as the roots of our country back then. And so we got our start, you know, the fairs did, as a community event, bringing people together, saying my cow is better than your cow. No, it's not. Hey, my cow's better. And that's really how it began in America. And it became a celebration of the community, celebration of the state in our case. And so it is, way back when 1870-ish, 1860, it was about agriculture. It was 98% agrarian is what everyone did. From a job standpoint, from a career standpoint. Now it's the other way around. It's 2% compared to 98%. So everyone made a living or was involved in agriculture in some aspect. So fairs were very critical to the nature of the community back in the day. So, and we've continued that celebration of agriculture, that continuation of the celebration of the community and bringing people together to celebrate. And we just got through with the 4th of July. I was in the nation's capital celebrating our 250th anniversary of our nation. So we're obviously doing a lot of great things this year at the fair to celebrate our anniversary as a nation.
America 250 is something that's huge for all of us right now in the country, and we're celebrating that at the Ohio State Fair as well. We have a lot of different things we're doing. Some fun things are actually colonial games. So, kind of throwing it back to the colonial days. Kids love to play hopscotch and ride hobby horses. So we'll have those activities for children to do at the
Kids,
fair.
how about adults?
I hope to see you on that hobby horse box.
I'll be
Only
there.
if he dresses up. Yeah.
We'll find him a nice little cap or something
Yes,
to
exactly.
wear
I love it.
in his colonial apparel. But some of the other things that we're doing are just, making sure that it's really patriotic throughout the fair. We've got some educational exhibits. We've got some theming. We do a lot of mural competitions and arts competitions at the fair, and those all have a patriotic tie this year. And one fun thing that we're doing is actually sealing a time capsule that will be opened at the nation's 300th anniversary. So it's been really interesting to come up with what should go in that time capsule. We've got AirPods. We've got Crocs with gibbets, right? Because what are people in 50 years going to think about
Right.
Crocs?
Well.
The giant Stanley Cups covered in stickers from a lot of Ohio's tourism outlets, including Experience Columbus. It's just going to be so fun for us to seal, but then really to think about what are people going to say 50 years from now about
Right.
how we look as a society in 2026.
We want to be
Right.
sure to cover that. That would be really cool to see all the things that are going in there.
Alicia, before we started taping, we had talked a little bit about the planning for concerts alone, which, by the way, high five to you guys on the concert lineup this year at the Ohio State Fair. But it's a tremendous undertaking to plan the State Fair, especially opening day. Can you pull back the curtain on that?
Oh my goodness, yeah. So we plan year round. It's funny. We'll get a lot of calls at the last minute. Can I bring, this food or this item in? And we're like, we've been planning this fair for months, And I was telling Boxer before, when it comes to concerts and things, we're booking those usually 18 months out. So our team is preparing everything during this year's fair that will impact the 2027 Ohio State Fair, and it's go time. From a facility standpoint, we have many events that are held. We're much like a convention center, and so as soon as those events tighten up for the summer, we're moving everything in for the fair, and we're setting up.
Wow.
It is an onion with many, many layers. And,
Great analogy.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ag competition with livestock. It certainly is. The concerts you talk about. There's free entertainment throughout the grounds, so you have to program and schedule all of that, as well as we're in charge of the public welfare and the safety and security of people attending the fair. So we have an awesome responsibility. We feed people. We have to house animals. There's many elements to planning the event, and so but that's what makes our job special. It's very diverse, and there's a lot involved in it, and all it is in the end fun and experience for everyone that attends.
So for the next couple of weeks, is this year you're working round the clock pretty much to make this happen for our community and our state?
Well, if I'm not working, I'm up in the middle of the night making notes.
Yes, the anxiety of like, oh, don't forget this or don't forget that.
And so there's very much long hours, but the days go by very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And soon enough it'll be over. But there's a lot of long days and long nights, but the magic is will be present at the end of the event.
That's so awesome. So, Adam, the Ohio Expo Center just wrapped an almost 3-year construction project. Tell us about how that will impact the guest experience and what's new, what's going on with that.
Well, it's such an incredible list of projects that we've undertaken and literally did it in about a 22-month period. So we took what was going to be 7 phases and mushed it into one phase, essentially. So we've been under construction for about 22 months, and it's everything from new exhibit buildings to a carousel, a handmade carousel, to renovated buildings, to new restrooms, new food halls. It's quite comprehensive. And not to forget all the non-glamorous things that take place underground. So the infrastructure has been rebuilt. So it's really gate to gate, north to south, east to west. The whole grounds has really been redeveloped.
And that's all going to be done by this fair.
It's all going to be done.
Wow.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It is. So the grand reveal of everything will be on the 29th of July.
Did you catch what he said about the carousel? Mm-hmm. And that's going to be like a staple, right, for the Ohio State Fair. It stays there.
It's here.
365 days a year.
Permanent building, an octagon, all glass octagon on the south end, the historic area of the grounds near the Ohio Gate. So it's an incredibly beautiful building housing a handmade from Marion, Ohio carousel with 32 different features on the deck itself. So everything hand carved, indigenous and unique to Ohio. So it's called the Ohio Children's Carousel. So
are all the horses taken when it comes to the first ride? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. There might, we talked about you being on a hobby horse. So
wants an invite.
I'm just trying to get in wherever I can.
You're always welcome.
Yeah, there's beyond horses on this carousel.
Okay.
And every day we're making an announcement on social media as to what the different animal or menagerie piece will be. So we've got everything from cardinals, to a river otter, to a box turtle.
Oh, this is great. So
horses, of course.
It's a tribute to Ohio. You're paying homage.
It is.
Oh, that's
And all locally made too, which is really cool.
And farm animals as well. So anything that you would normally see on a fairgrounds during the fair will be carved on the platform of our carousel.
I love that.
It's awesome.
Speaking of farm animals, Alicia, agriculture has been such a heritage for us here, and it still is, obviously. But when it comes to State Fair, it's been at the heart of the State Fair. How do you, as a fair in 2026, continue that rich tradition and industry of agriculture with, I don't know, I guess today's fair goer?
Right, that's a great question. And, Adam talked a little bit about this earlier, how really we're so deeply rooted in agriculture. And I think there's multiple sides to that. The first side, of course, are our exhibitors who come from all over Ohio, who've raised animals all year long, who come to show at the Ohio State Fair, whether that's their, local youth 4-H project that they're showing here or in an open class. So we've got all of those individuals, and we've made a lot of great accommodations this year to improve the exhibitor experience. So we've actually changed our livestock schedule. Something that might be a little known fact about the Ohio State Fair is that because we have so many animals who come into the fair, it used to be that we needed about 21 days to do all of the livestock shows. And so we've shrunk a lot of that down, and some of the animals that the average fairgoer wouldn't see during the 12 days of the fair, like llamas or pygmy goats, for example, will now be shown during the 12 days of the Ohio State Fair, which is absolutely amazing. But we're also doing things like improving our wash stalls for our exhibitors so they have a better experience of washing and preparing their animals for the show. New tie-outs, so improving, again, the animal housing that we have here on the fairgrounds. But that's just one part of it. The other part is the fairgoer experience, right? Because especially here in an urban area like Columbus, you might be removed from agriculture. You don't see farm animals on a daily basis. And so modifying that schedule really helps us allow people to see more farm animals. But some of the construction projects Adam was talking about earlier, we've got 2 new buildings. One is the Ohio Showcase building that has a history exhibit and a food hall with local Ohio restaurants. The other building is the brand new Ohio Agriculture Center. And in that building, it's going to be holistic farm to fork. So we have our Taste of Ohio Cafe. That's where Ohio's agricultural commodity groups serve food. So you can get, a ribeye sandwich from a cattle farmer that's served to you during the Ohio State Fair, or the famed deviled eggs from Young Poultry Association. But then beyond that, there's a great new exhibit that Ohio's ag industry has really gone into together to create with the leadership of Farm Bureau called Imagine Ag. And so this Imagine Agriculture experience is going to take you through everything from flying a drone, like farmers would do to detect weeds in their farms, to seeing a combine and experiencing that, learning how animals are cared for, things like cooling mats, and then you can explore all the way back into our OVMA Animal Life and Learning Center where baby animals are being born.
Oh, I love that.
And the miracle of birth is just something not everyone gets to see, right?
Yeah.
You know, Sarah, I don't know if you've had the chance to experience this when you go to the Ohio State Fair, but for two people that grew up on farms, I took it for granted. But then you go to the Ohio State Fair, and there's nothing more satisfactory than seeing people who you could tell they're from, I don't want to say tell they're from the city, but you can just tell. And they're into these exhibits. And no one educates the public better on agriculture than the Ohio State Fair.
No, and I love it. And as Boxer said, we both grew up on a farm. I was a 4-H kid as well. My parents actually met in a 4-H National Leadership Conference in D.C. when they were 15 and 16. So it was a requirement that my brothers and I were all in 4-H. I am an Illinois Grand Champion in fashion design, also competed in baking. So unfortunately not the agriculture or the animal side, but I absolutely love those exhibits. So cannot wait to see all the newness and the innovation in farming, which people don't even realize what's happening and how that whole industry is being transformed today. So it's going to be awesome. So Adam, we talked a little bit previously about live entertainment, which is such a huge part of the fair and such a major highlight. What concerts, performances, or special events should visitors this year, like, for sure put on their itinerary?
Well, the great thing about the fair is, you know, you mentioned it earlier, Boxer, about the quality of acts that we have booked in the Celeste Center, which is typically a paid venue. We do have some nights of free acts in there, but if you look at the schedule, it's quite, I would say, diverse. When you look at everything from Nelly to Weird Al to Alison Krauss, you know, and then you've got the Gin Blossoms in there with the Blues Traveler. So a great mix. We try to hit on different genres, and you know, we'll book in somebody like, you know, Weird Al, and he's been around for 40 years.
That's something.
But he's probably our biggest seller right now.
Oh,
he
wow.
is super popular. So it's fun to be able to bring in the different genres that speak to a variety of Ohioans, and so I think we've done that very well over the years, and we're really hitting the mark with our agency right now on the booking the talent that we have in the Celeste Center. But if you don't want to pay to go see an act in the Celeste Center, there's plenty of bands. We have new stages this year, and so there's plenty of free acts and entertainment, whether it's a hypnotist or a country act or you name it, there is free entertainment, roving entertainment all throughout the grounds. So you don't have to spend extra money to be entertained when you're at the state fair.
I want Boxer to try the hypnotist.
Oh, I don't know if we want that.
You got to believe in it, and if you do,
You'd be such a good ambassador to go around and try these things, and then I'll be there and I'll film it all.
Just cover my mouth in case I say something that could get me in trouble. That's what I'm worried about. Alicia, back to you for a sec. When it comes to the state fair, one of the things when you think Ohio State Fair, outside of agriculture and the entertainment, there's the food. The fair food is certainly a staple, and it's a part of the overall experience anyway. So, but we hear there's competition this year. So what's new? What can we expect?
So this year, for the first time ever, we are doing a new food contest because we always have new foods. You know, last year, it's funny, I have a colleague who works out at the fair, and he made his own kind of like March Madness, Fair Madness bracket of trying all the foods and trying different things each day. And so we're kind of taking that to a different step this year. And we're doing a new food contest that will have a couple of celebrity judges come in before the fair. We've got a couple already confirmed from Dos Hermanos and Ravello's Coffee that will be in prior to the fair, and we'll judge foods based on best sweet, best savory, best beverage, and then also best classic item, because there's fair favorites that we want to make get a chance to be a part of this competition too. So it's going to be really fun prior to the fair, but then during the fair, everybody wants to voice their own opinion, right? So we have a People's Choice Award where if you download the Ohio State Fair app and you go try the Korean churro corn dog, for example, you know, you can vote for that, or I've got a whole list list here in front of me, the Spam Musabi, or the Pick Me Hot Chicken Pizza, or an Inside Out Buckeye, which is basically the chocolate's on the inside and the peanut butter's on the outside, and then it's rolled and deep fried, right?
Okay.
There are so many different foods that you can experience at the Ohio State Fair. You know, we were joking earlier. It's like, can you put it on a stick? Can you deep fry it? Can you do both?
Well, yes, you can.
Exactly. And our vendors just come up with the most amazing things that they can do and highlight.
You're right on target. Everyone, once you start talking about fair food, everyone gets perked up and excited and talk about their favorite items that they've had in the past. And then you mention the new foods, and then you try to get an interest like, ooh, I don't know, I wouldn't want to try that. Yes, I would want to eat that. And our list is very long, and it is very interesting what people mix together, what they create. To be a new fair favorite. So we're excited about this competition. We're excited about all the new foods that we're going to introduce at this year's fair. So come on out, we'll take a tour, and we'll see if we can hit all. I think there's probably about 40 items on here.
Oh
so
my gosh, that is
for
so
it,
cool.
Let's hit all 40
we'll
items
do it.
and make a vote.
I'm game. I'm game.
I want that bracket too. That's something you should make available to the public. That's
yeah.
pretty fun.
That would be fun. And we also have a really fun thing too. We call it $3 Thursday. And so on Thursdays, our vendors offer smaller kind of sample size portions.
I love that.
So if you're coming to try all the new foods, I would try it on a Thursday so you don't fill up. You get those smaller
That's
portions
perfect
at
for
a
me.
discount.
Love that. Question for you both. For someone attending for the very first time, what would be your perfect one-day itinerary to experience the very best the fair has to offer? Obviously, people need to go multiple days, but what is like the perfect one day if that's all the time you had?
Well, everyone's answer is going to be different, so I'm very curious to hear yours, Alicia. I think mine is just hearkening back to my, working the fair is different, of course, than attending. But so when I attend a fair, I like to go really early in the morning, right? Before even the gates open, try to find an open gate that is used for service and find my way in that way for free if I can. No, I'm just kidding. No, please pay your admission to come to the fair.
I don't think you should be telling people that.
No. But I like
Rebel
to go.
Adam.
I like to go very early, and the first thing I like to do is hit the barns and walk the barns and just be around the animals. It tends to be a little more peaceful and quiet. There's no showing yet, but the animals are being bedded down and they're being fitted, which means they're being prepped for the show later on that day. So I like to do the barns, go find a cup of coffee somewhere, get something to eat, cinnamon roll, okay? And then, at our fair, it would be the Laushi Youth Exploration area is wonderful. I'd be in that space, first of all. Secondly, I'd probably then hit something else to eat, go try one of the new food items. And then I love the Bricker Marketplace, which is our commercial exhibit space.
Same.
So I'd walk that, right, and see what new gizmos are available. And then make my way towards the Midway. I like to explore the rides and the games and see all that's available there. So, my day would be much different than anybody else. So Alicia's would be remarkable to hear your side. But in the end, it's sort of eating along the way and, in and out of the barn areas, checking out a band, listening at a stage to a new act. So there's so much to do and see at the fair. I think everyone's going to have a little different itinerary and a different path they would choose as they go through the fairgrounds. So, Alicia, come on, I want to hear it.
You covered so many amazing things to do. I love the Laushi Youth Exploration Space. You mentioned we have so many fun hands-on activities for kids in there, and we have this thing we call Tiny Town. So kids have the little cozy coupe cars and little houses and little gas pumps. So, the small toddlers in your family can kind of run around, and there's benches for parents around the perimeter, so they're kind of locked in, which is always a great thing for parents of young children. But, in addition to some of the things that Adam mentioned, I love to hit Natural Resources Park.
Same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's the best, right? Smokey always knows your name.
How does he know your name?
We will never
I
reveal.
still haven't figured that out.
We can't tell you that.
But going there, my kids absolutely love fishing. They've reached the height limit where they can kayak now for free. So it's an amazing experience. We also you got to go see the butter cow. I mean, did you go to the fair if you did not take a selfie with the butter cow? I don't think it happened. And this year, that building is one of the buildings that's got renovations. So huge bonus for fairgoers, air conditioning, and also restrooms in there. And we've made some changes too to the lighting and the glass. So hopefully those selfies will look a little bit better, a little less flashy. flashy than they have previously. But I also love to hit, in addition to the barns and the Bricker building, like Adam mentioned, I love to go over to what we call the barnyard. It's where we have the pig races. So we've got these little pigs that race for Oreos. The crowd is huge. You got to get there a little bit early because it becomes standing room only. And we also have a petting zoo in that area. And so you can go in totally for free, pet all the animals. They do like it if you get the little carrots and you put those in the palm of your hand, and the tiny goats can eat the carrots. But a lot of those things that I shared, you can do completely for free. You know, you don't need to spend a dime. You can come to the fair. You got a refillable water bottle. I would not be found without my, giant cup covered in stickers, just like we're putting in the time capsule. Fill that up, walk around, get a ton of steps, and just see and take in everything. Take in the barns, the traditions, and try something new.
Mm-hmm. You just listed off everything my family loves to do. The natural resources. I have to kick my kids out of there because they want to keep catching fish. I'm like, no, we need to give other people a turn now. Let's go.
Yep,
you know,
it's somebody else's turn next.
And this is no joke. The pig races last year, I had to. The first one I missed. I couldn't see anything. There was just too many people. So the next one, I kind of started spying and seeing when I should get over there. 45 minutes before the actual show.
Pro tip.
Just to get a good spot right there. And I also want to add just one thing. You can also be out at the Ohio State Fair and get business done. I love in the Bricker building that you guys have the Ohio BMV. Twice now in my life here.
I didn't know that.
Twice I've got my license renewed there.
That's amazing.
That's an added
So
bonus.
thank you, Adam and Alicia.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We also have hot tubs for sale.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
do all sorts
I
of
actually
business.
would really like a hot tub.
I've also bought a mattress from the Bricker building during the state. Hey, you would not
deals.
believe the sales on those mattresses during
They
the state.
really are great deals.
This is good advertising.
But where else can you go where you can go see fine artwork created by amateurs and professionals from
Right.
throughout the state? It's an excellent art exhibition that we have on the fairgrounds, to watching pig races, right? And everything in between. It's just an incredible eclectic experience when you go to the fair.
Such a great point. Alicia, when you think about Columbus is my favorite city in the world, and clearly because I'm still here after 27 years, but why is Columbus, do you think, the ideal location for the Ohio State Fair?
I mean, it's right here in the heart of Ohio and the Midwest, right? So, we can attract visitors to the Ohio State Fair or to the events that are here the rest of the year because we're in that close driving distance. But it's so amazing because we are right off the freeway. People can easily get to us, easily find us. And, in fact, when we were doing all of these construction projects, there was a study that said, is Columbus the right home for the Ohio State Fair? And hands down, absolutely it is. Every sign points to Columbus being the home of the Ohio State Fair.
Adam, what about you?
Well, I agree with everything that was said. Along the interstate, of course, is key, but just, central to the state, of course, just right on the edge of Columbus. And you couldn't be better positioned for the fair and for the other activities that we have throughout the year. So we're just very, very lucky to be on the property that we are. It really serves our audience well.
Heart of it all, as we like to say.
There you go. There you go. Good job,
I know.
Sarah.
Way to bring that back.
Alicia and Adam, right now it is time for, it's mine. I don't know if it's yours, Sarah. It's one of our favorite things we like about this podcast, and that is the rapid fire questions. Are you ready? Can you handle this?
I feel like they're ready. I feel like they're ready.
All right, here we go. What is something about the Ohio State Fair that doesn't get enough attention? Alicia, go.
I'm going to say the All Ohio State Fair Band and Youth Choir. So we're the only fair in the country that has our own band and choir. We've got students from all across the state of Ohio who come. They stay in dorms on site. They get here a few days before the fair. They train. Then they march every day of the fair and do a ton of performances. It's a treasure. And, we would not be the same without the All Ohio State Fair Band and Youth Choir.
I love that.
Adam?
Well, I would say this, we go back to what the roots of the fair are, and it's agriculture. And I think we do that very, very well, in particular livestock in the competition. So I think that's one thing that people need to celebrate in the state is to get into the barns and watch and witness the competitions. These kids work so hard throughout the year with their projects, and then to have them compete against their friends and their family members and then win a ribbon and then have their animal at the Sale of Champions. I would say that that's what makes us very special and very unique as an event.
Oh, love it. Okay, next question. Ohio State Fair in one word.
Oh.
Adam.
Memories.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh, I love
Memories.
that.
That's what we're in the business of doing, making memories.
That's great.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. All right. Well, since you went with memories, I was kind of thinking tradition. I'll stay away from there. I'm going to go with entertaining because there's something to do around every corner, whether that's education or music or arts or any of the things we've talked about. You'll be entertained.
I like that. All right, finally, guys, because this is called the Yes Columbus podcast, what are you saying yes to, Alicia?
I'll go with adventures, exploring new areas, finding new things to do, making an adventure out of an afternoon anywhere here in the city.
All right.
Love it.
Adam?
Oh my gosh. What am I saying yes to? Come to the State Fair.
Yes.
There you go.
July
That's
29th to August 9th. How's that? And right in the heart of Columbus too, right on the edge. So it's just again a great marriage between the city of Columbus and the State Fair.
Love it. Well, Adam and Alicia, we really appreciate you both being with us here today. Yeah. I know our listeners are looking forward to seeing all the new and exciting things that this year's fair has to offer.
And of course, we're going to see you, right, Sarah?
We
I'm
are.
sure I'll bump into you at this year's Ohio State Fair, July 29th through August 9th at the Ohio Expo Center and State Fairgrounds. And of course, to learn more, you just go to ohiostatefair.com. And if you're looking for more ways to explore this season, just head to experiencecolumbus.com/summer. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you both.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of Yes Columbus, an Experience Columbus podcast. Tune in next week as we take you on a tour of what's new, what's hot, and what makes Columbus a city on the rise.